Xiao Li's group was startled when they heard the voice of this white-clothed woman, which contained some surprise. Xiao Li exchanged looks with Su Qian by his side before he immediately nodded somewhat cautiously. He cupped his hands together and said, "I am the deputy chief of Xiao Gate, Xiao Li." The Dou within Xiao Li's body quietly circulated while he spoke. He was certain that he had never met this young Dou Zong in front of him. From the voice of the other party earlier, it seemed that she was related to Xiao Gate. However, before he could ascertain whether their relationship was a good or bad one, it was not a bad thing to be a little careful. While Xiao Li was alert, the eyes of Su Qian by his side solidified. He could sense that this pretty white-clothed woman might be young, but she possessed an unusually great strength. If she possessed an enmity toward Xiao Gate, it was likely that they would experience some trouble today. Moreover, there was the demon flame valley beside them, who was looking over with predatory intent. The killing intent that spread around her body was greatly reduced in front of the many gazes around them after hearing Xiao Li's reply. She immediately and faintly said, "Can the few of you please move aside and not interrupt the person refining this pill?" Although these words were still bland, they were undoubtedly much better than the attitude that was used to treat the demon flame valley. Quite a number of people were quietly puzzled in their hearts. Since when did Xiao Gate come to be acquainted with such a strong person? The expression of those people from the demon flame valley, who had withdrawn to the roof of a building, changed slightly when they sensed the much warmer tone that the little fairy doctor used. Xiao Gate is actually acquainted with this woman? Fan Yan's expression became slightly gloomy as he knit his brows and questioned. If this was really the truth, the situation of the Demon Flame Valley would not be good. It was likely that even the person by the side would have a difficult time facing to elite Dou Zong. Don't panic. From their conversation, they might be acquainted, but their relationship is clearly not to the level that you are thinking. The Demon Flame Valley is not one that anyone could just offend as they please, even if she is an elite Dou Zong. The grey-robed person's dark eyes swept over the white-clothed lady above the building before coldly speaking. Fan Yan's expression finally grew calmer after hearing this. He frowned and said, "Why have I never heard of such a young female Dou Zong in the Black Corner region? Is she someone from outside the Black Corner region?" The few Demon Flame Valley's elders beside Fan Yan merely felt puzzled and shook their heads in the face of Fan Yan's uncertainty. Which elite Dou Zong in the Black Corner region was not renowned? Yet, none of them was similar to this white-clothed woman. Compared with the doubt of Fan Yan and the others, Xiao Li, who was the main character involved, was similarly confused. They did not know why this woman, who was clearly not kind, would suddenly improve her attitude toward them. Xiao Li's gaze was exchanged with Su Qian by his side. Doubt flashed across his eyes. He courteously cupped his hands toward the white-clothed woman. He then led his group away to an area beyond a 100-meter radius from the light pillar. The surrounding space around the pavilion had become completely empty after Xiao Li's group withdrew. However, the areas further away were packed with people. Clearly, these people still felt a great interest for the light pillar that shot out from the room. Haha, it is unexpected that the auction that my Black Emperor sect has held this time around has attracted so many foreign and familiar faces. The old me has really gained a lot of face. A couple of human figures suddenly flashed over from deep within the Black Emperor Pavilion after Xiao Li's group pulled back. They immediately stopped when they were still 100 meters from the building. The human figures had just appeared when everyone swiftly glanced over. A yellow-robed, old man stepping in the air with a smile. As he approached, Everyone realized that there were a couple of enormous golden pythons sewn on his yellow robes. They reflected a faint glow under the sunlight, appearing as though they were alive and emitting an unusual pressure. A white-clothed Moya as well as a red-faced old man wearing an alchemist robe followed close behind the old man. That red-faced old man was the chief alchemist of the Black Emperor sect who had a conflict with Xiao Yan back in the Thousand Medicinal House. Qi Shan. The yellow-robed old man stirred quite a big commotion in this area the moment he appeared. Numerous exclamations sounded. It is actually the sect leader of the Black Emperor sect, Mo Tian. It is rumored that Mo Tian Xing has advanced to the Dozong class over a decade ago and has been undertaking a retreat. It is unexpected that even he was disturbed today. Mo Tian Xing, who had appeared, swept his eyes over Su Qian and the grey-robed person from the Demon Flame Valley. His gaze passed through some areas within the Black Emperor pavilion without leaving a trace. Only then did it turn to the pavilion. Surprise flashed through his eyes when his gaze landed on the little fairy doctor. Clearly, the young age of the latter had caused him to be very stunned. It is actually her? Moya's eyes swept over the pavilion behind Mo Tian. He was immediately startled when he saw the ethereal face that he had missed so much. After which, he immediately muttered in surprise, "You know her?" Mo Tian was also surprised when he heard those words, so he hurriedly inquired. Having a good relationship with an expert of such level would be a great benefit to the Black Emperor sect. We have only met once and cannot be considered acquainted. Moya hesitated for a moment and revealed the details that he knew. He did not hide his affection for the little fairy doctor in his voice. On the other hand, he roughly spoke about Xiao Yan. From the looks of it, the one refining a medicinal pill inside should be the young man whom Elder Qi mentioned having a conflict with within the Thousand Medicinal House. It is unexpected, at such an age, his alchemist skill has already reached this tier. How frightening! Moya's brief mention of Xiao Yan did not cause Mo Tian Xing to forget about the latter. He recalled some of the news that he knew, and a solemnness flashed across his eyes as he spoke in a deep voice. Qi Shan curled the corner of his mouth slightly while he stood behind. The eyes which he used to look at the light pillar from the building were filled with hatred and jealousy. Back then, he might have been aware that Xiao Yan was also an alchemist, but he had never thought that the other party's medicine refining skills were at a level that he had difficulty comparing with. Moreover, the thing that caused him to feel extremely unbalanced was that the other party possessed such an achievement at his age. It should be known that even he had only luckily broken through to the 6th tier not long ago. Moya's heart was somewhat uncomfortable when he heard these words from Mo Tian Xing. His usual arrogant self was extremely unwilling to see a person who was younger than him attain an achievement that was greater than his. More importantly, there was an exquisite lady whom even he admired greatly by this fellow's side. This point was something that he had difficulty enduring. The both of you should watch out in the future. Try your best not to form enmity with this Yan Xiao. A Dozong, an alchemist who can refine a high-grade tier 6 medicinal pill, and a little girl who possesses a physical strength that is frightening. This kind of lineup is already extremely strong. One cannot easily offend them. Do you understand? Mo Tian Xing ignored the thoughts in the hearts of these two people and spoke with a faint voice. Yes. Moya and Qi Shan might feel extremely displeased in their hearts, but they did not dare to reveal the slightest dissatisfaction in front of Mo Tian Xing. All they did was courteously respond. This time around, quite a number of old demons who have been living in isolation has come because of that bodhisattva body transformation saliva. If they want to fight, just allow them to do so. As long as they can take out something that satisfies our Black Emperor sect, who possesses the thing or how many have died or become crippled because of it has nothing to do with us. We can just treat it as watching a fun show. The corner of Mo Tian Xing's mouth was lifted into a strange smile as he lowered his body and replied. Moya and Qi Shan exchanged looks before nodding in agreement. Moya, are you interested in this young lady? Mo Tian Xing suddenly laughed as he narrowed his eyes and observed the little fairy doctor who was emitting a shocking chillness above the building. Moya was startled. He immediately replied with some embarrassment, "Such a lady is indeed far from what those with cosmetics can compare with. It is naturally good if you really have the means to be together with her. Our Black Emperor sect's strength will definitely soar if she becomes yours. Of course, it is best that she does not feel any enmity for us. Otherwise, I will hold you accountable." Mo Tian Xing laughed. His tone became stern towards the end. Joy flashed across Moya's eyes as he hurriedly nodded. He had an extremely great confidence in his appearance, demeanor, achievement, and everything else that he believed mattered. In all these years, there had been an uncountable number of talented and lovely women who had been played by him. While everyone were quietly caught up in their different thoughts, the light pillar that shot into the sky slowly became dim. However, the pill fragrance that was emitted from it grew denser. The light pillar grew increasingly faint. Finally, it transformed into some fragmented light spots before slowly disappearing. After the light pillar disappeared, a thumb-sized cluster of light appeared in front of everyone's gaze. The glow suddenly surged after the cluster of light appeared. Its body moved and that appearance, as though it was about to escape into the sky. However, a cold snort suddenly sounded from the room below just as the glow soared. A suction force suddenly erupted. Under that fierce suction force, that cluster of light began to sway unsteadily. It paused for a moment before rushing back down in front of the many greedy gazes. Finally, it entered that room and disappeared. The little fairy doctor's body only moved after she saw that the medicinal pill had been contained. She disappeared with it. The lingering pill fragrance gradually scattered.